drawdown. Now the second method to determine your trend, okay, to determine your direction. Remember, this is a technical way of determining your direction. Okay, we're going to get into the fundamentals of it later on in the next video. So trend change or trend reversal. Okay, now let's say you're in the market and then this is now a sell trend. Okay, now this sell trend is not going to continue forever, for all eternity. Okay, this sell trend is eventually going to reach a bottom. Okay, and it is eventually now going to turn and start going into the buy. Okay, so how do you determine that your trend is now changing? Okay, is now changing from a buy to a sell. Now this is the second method. Now remember, it was important for us to start with the transition because you're going to apply these transitions even here. Okay, but just bear with us. Now there's a few steps to looking at a trend and whether or not it's going to change. Okay, now step number one, remember this is a sell trend. Okay, sellers exist in these lines. This is where sellers are. Okay, this is where they're going to defend price. Okay, this is where they're going to hold their position. Now to determine that this trend is now shifting into a buy, what you want to see first is you want to see the most recent position of your seller. Okay, you want to see the most recent position being stopped out. Okay, you want to see it removed from the equation. Now once you see it removed from the equation, this doesn't, this is not a breakout. Okay, this doesn't mean now buy. No, once you see a sell a buy where the sellers have been removed, you want to see a pullback. Okay, still not entering in the buy. Your buy has not yet been confirmed. Okay, so as where the price is currently, let's say the price is right here, where the price is currently, this is still very much a seller's trend. Okay, you're still supposed to be selling. But if the market does this, okay, now it has changed. You're now not supposed to be selling, you're supposed to be buying, and you're supposed to be buying from here because your buyers are now in this area. Okay, so your trend has now changed from a sell trend to now a buy trend. Okay, in this area. Now let's look at a buy trend. Okay, this is a buy trend. This buy trend is not going to go on forever. There will be a point where it forms a top. Okay, and they start forming down. Now remember, this is where the sellers are, this is where their positions are. Okay, so you want to see your most recent, we need this one right here, you want to see your most recent seller, your most recent buy position being stopped out. Still we're supposed to be buying at around this area right here because the sellers have not proved their position, they're not proved where they stand. Okay, so you want to see a pullback. Okay, remember, the buy position has now been stopped out. You want to see a pullback, and then you want to see this. You want to see a lower low being formed right here. So now you're supposed to be looking for sells, and ideally you're supposed to be looking for sells at right around this area down here. Now remember, now to sum all of the content today together. So you open a chart. Okay, you open a chart, it's a sell trend, then it does this. Okay, what you want to do is, you now know this is no longer a sell trend. I'm not supposed to be looking for sells, I'm supposed to be looking for buys. Okay, and now when you're looking for buys, you now want to see pullbacks. Okay, once the market pulls back, you want to find a transition. Okay, at a price point. Once you find a transition near your area of buys, okay, near your buy position, you now take your buy. Okay, ideally the buy position should go on. Alternatively, if this is a buy trend, okay, this is a buy trend, it's not going to continue forever. It comes in, forms a top. Okay, and then your most recent buyer, this position is stopped out, a pullback happens, and then your sellers are such that they are still in the game. Now you're supposed to be looking for sells from around this area. Now ideally you're supposed to look for pullbacks in this. Remember, we want to sell, and then you find a transition point, okay, where now you can take your sell and probably go on form lower lows and lower highs. Okay, that's it for the direction today, guys. That's it for the technical aspect. We're going to go deep into the technical aspects in the further videos. Again, if you haven't seen our first video, check out the links in the description. Join us for more signals. Until next time, guys, cheers.